Hello everyone. So in this video we will start to making our power sources. So let me explain a little bit about power sources. So first of all, every power source will have one output port, and by this port they will send the energy they are generating. We also have a function that returns a boolean, and this function called can generate power. So in this function we will check the ability of generating power, because every power source have a different condition for generating power. For example, this wind turbine you are seeing right now need some windy weather to generating power, and maybe the solar panel need a different condition. So this function will be virtual and will return a boolean. We also have something called refresh rate. So actually this refresh rate will represent uh, every how much seconds we will check the ability of generating power. So actually we will call this function every 5 seconds if the refresh rate is equal to 5. You will understand it much better when we start the coding. So let's go to Unity and start making our power source. Okay, so before making the power source, let's create the structure that I told you in the beginning. So right here we'll create the base script, and we will call this electric unit. So right here we will put something is global, or everything related to electricity should have. So first of all we need a string, and we will call this unit name. So this represent the name of the part. We also need to make two functions. We will make public virtual void, and we will call this on detect. We will need one more, and this also will be virtual void, and this will be called on interact. I will explain later why we made these two functions. They are very important, but we will understand it in the next videos. And now let's go back to our port script, and from here let's change the script we are inheriting from. So let's say electric unit here. So everything related to the system you are making will be inherited from electric unit. So let's go back to Unity, and here let's start creating our power source. So let's go and create a new script. Let's call this power source. So first of all, we should inherit from electric unit script. Let's delete those functions. Okay, so first of all, we need to declare a port, and this will be called output port. We need also declare a float, and this will be the refresh rate. Also need two integers, and this will be the current output. One more integer, and this will be the max output. Also, I should need some boolean, and we will call this is generating power. So this will tell us if the power source is generating power or not right now. So first of all, let's create something that will make the refresh. I told you in the presentation that the refresh rate will be actually some value like 5. So every 5 seconds, we should make some check if we can generate power or not. So let's make this, let's use coroutine for that. And let's make the coroutine. Let's do this, let's name this refresh coroutine. So this actually will be called forever. So we'll say while true. So here, every 5 seconds, we need to call something. So yield, return, new, wait for seconds, and here you'll put the refresh rate. So actually, whatever we put here will be called every 5 seconds, or whatever the refresh rate is. We will fill this place later. So now let's create the function that check the ability of generating power. So let's say public virtual void, not void, boolean uh, can generate power. So for now, let's only say true. So we can generate power. And but when we made a specific power source like a wind turbine or a solar panel, the content of this function will be changed. And this is the reason why we made this virtual. And now we need to make one more function, and this function will be called when the power generation state is changed. So let's say this also should be a virtual. Okay. So here, as a parameter, we should take some boolean, and this should be the new state. First of all, we should make some check. So if the new state is equal to is generating power. So if you remember, we declared this here, and this will tell us if the power source is generating power right now. So if the state is equal, we should return. But if it's not, first of all, we should update the power generation state. So is generating power is equal to the new state. We also need to find the current output actually. So for now, as a main case, we will say that current output is equal. We will use here something called the trident condition. So we will say is generating power. So if that's true, we will use the max output, and if not, it will be 0. If you don't know what the trident condition is, so here we have some variable and we are assigning some of this to this variable, and here we have some condition. So and we put a question mark after it. So is generating power. So if this condition is true, the new value of this will be this one. And if this condition is false, the value will be 0. So right here, after we find out our output, we need to update the port that connected to us. So output port, set value, the current output. Very nice. So now we need to connect everything to each other. So what we will do it here every 5 seconds. Actually, we will call this function, and as a parameter, we will use this function. Every 5 seconds, we will check if we can generate power, and whatever the result of this function, it will be passed to this function, and the logic here will be applied. Yes, perfect. But we forget to call this actually. Sorry. So in the start function, make void start. So here we will start coroutine, and we will call the refresh coroutine. Yes. Okay, guys. So after we created the power source script, now we should make some specific power source. And in this case, we will make a wind turbine. So let's make a script for it. Let's go to scripts, create a new script. Let's call this wind turbine. So first of all, let's inherit from power source script. So we can use everything exist in that script. And let's delete those and override this function, because the condition of generating power is changed. So in Rust, the wind turbines are generating more power if they are placed in a higher place. So let's say transform.position.y is more than 0. So if our position is more than 0, so we will be able to generate power, and either we will not be able. Also, we need to override another function. We will override this function because we have a little bit different process from the base class. So here, first of all, we should update is generating power variable, and if it's true, we need to set our output port value according to how much high we are. So let's make something called temp output. Uh, this will be equal actually for transform dot position dot y multiplied with 10, and here the current output will be mathf dot clamp. We will clamp the temp output between 0 and our max output. And actually we should set all of these to integer, because the current output is an integer, and else the current output should be 0, and at the end the output port, we will set the current output to the output port. So set value current output. Perfect. So let's go back to Unity. Actually, we need to make one more thing. So I need, when we generating power, I need this blades to rotate. It's not that necessary, but I think it will be something good looking. So here we rotate this object, we will have a nice effect. So let's do that. So let's go back to Visual Studio, and here in update function, if you are generating power right now, if you are generating power, you need to rotate something. So let's have a reference to the object that we will rotate. So let's call this blades, and here we will say blades dot transform dot rotate Actually, we should rotate in y-axis. So 0. Actually, here I want to rotate the blades according to how much energy we are generating right now. So let's make this. It's current output divided to the max output. Actually, we should make both of them float because right now both of them integer. And at the end, we should multiply them with something represent our rotation force. So let's call this uh, blade force, and let's multiply this with blade force. So yeah, let's go back to Unity. Okay, so let's go here right here, and first of all, let's make this port a prefab. Let's call this port, and let's drag it and drop it in prefab folder. Uh, and also we need to add a wind turbine script here. Okay, so we have a lot of requirements. First of all, we need a port. So let's add this port to this object and let's assign it right here. The refresh rate will be 5. Current output will be generated in the runtime. And let's make the max output is 100. We want also to assign the blades object. So let's log this. And which one? Yeah, that is it. So let's assign this. And let's make the power is 5. Now let's change our camera perspective. If you want the camera to be the same what is in the scene, we should click to the camera and Control Shift F. Yes, let's start the game. And actually, let's, let's check that. It's actually 0 right now. So let's separate the game and scene window. So if we raise it a little bit to up and resume the game, after the refresh, you will see that the blades starting to rotate. So let's check our output port to see the value. If we go to our port and release the lock here, so right now we have 10 as a value. So if we raise it more and go back to our port, we will see that the output value is changed. And also the rotation speed of the blades is also changed. So perfect. So we made our first power source. And if we make it less than 0, we'll stop. Perfect. So that's all for this video and see you in the next one.